everyone and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, hi, my name is Nicole and I'm a part-time reseller on POSHMARK, and today I'm going to talk about items and brands that have been selling for me recently that I've made the most profit on and that I also purchased for $1 at my Goodwill. So if you don't know about Dollar Day, and maybe your Goodwill doesn't have Dollar Day, so don't get disappointed, make sure you do your research to make sure that they do. But a lot of Goodwills have been doing Dollar Day, which is basically a day of the week where they have a certain color or two colors be priced to $1. So my Goodwill, which is actually about 40 minutes from my house, I go there on Sundays, but again, it depends on where you live. Check with your Goodwill, check, with locations around you to see if they have Dollar Day. Mine has one, and so I go on Sundays and I get inventory. I tend to get anywhere from about 40 to 100 pieces in one go, and then I just go through and list everything. And these items all in this video that I'm going to talk about are items that I purchased for $1 each, and I'm going to talk about how much money I made off of them and basically what the brand was and what the size was, and maybe give you an idea of things that are selling fast, and maybe they're brands that you wouldn't think to pick up and sell, but these are still things that I made anywhere from 10 times the profit to even more than that each time. So I hope this video helps you get some ideas of things that you can pick up, and maybe just shows you that you can flip a profit on any brand and it doesn't have to be a good brand. Okay, so this first dress is a good example of basically a no-name brand to me really selling. So this is a packed lavender floral dress, and it was like a tank top style dress. It was a size extra large, and it sold basically the same day I listed it. It was one of those pieces that I picked up, and it sold for $20, which I was really shocked on because I didn't think that basically a no-name brand to me would sell that well. I've never heard of the brand Pact. Let me know down below if you've heard of it, because I definitely haven't, and I was really shocked to see that it sold for that much, but I was definitely not mad because that was a great flip. Okay, in this next order, there was actually two pairs of denim that sold really well. One brand that I had never heard of, which is Harbor Heritage, and the other brand is a tried and true favorite of mine, American Eagle. The Harbor Heritage jeans sold for $25, and the American Eagle jeans sold for $20. If you know me and you've been around my channel for a long time, you know that I swear by selling American Eagle. It always sells. So generally when I go to Dollar Day, I do pick it up, and whether that be shorts or jeans or sweaters or tops, dresses, anything, I do pick it up. As long as it's in good condition and it's a decent size, it will sell. And so this is a great example of two pairs of jeans that I picked up for $1 and they sold for $20 and $25 each, which is, very exciting, and that basically means I made like 20 times the profit on them. The next pair are a pair of J. Crew pants. They are on the smaller side. I think they were a size 2, if I remember correctly. They sold for $20, which again was pretty good because I didn't think I was going to be able to sell them that high just because they were a smaller size. But what I've noticed is people really like J. Crew jeans, so note to self, definitely keep picking J. Crew jeans up when I'm thrifting because they are selling, and generally they sell full price. They just take a little long time to sell, but they eventually do sell full price. And this is actually like the third or fourth time that I've noticed recently that I've had a good pair of J. Crew jeans sell for a decent price. Okay, the next item was an item that I picked up kind of by mistake because I thought it was a women's pair of shorts, but it ended up being a man's pair, and that's totally fine. But the problem is I just don't have a large audience, and it didn't have a brand, and so I was really nervous. But then they ended up actually selling for $15, which is pretty good because, again, I picked it up by mistake and I still made a decent profit on them. The next item I sold was a pair of Z Supply pants. Now, these were new with tag, and I probably could have sold them higher, but I was really just happy to make the profit on them that I did because, again, I picked them up for $1. They are a size extra large, they looked really comfy, and they were new with tag. I sold them for $20, which, again, like I said, I probably could have sold them higher. I had never heard of the brand Z Supply. Let me know down below in the comments if you've heard of it, because I think it's a semi-common brand, but I had never really sold it before. But again, still made good profit on these pants, so I'm pretty content with the sale. Okay, this next item was a tote bag that I picked up. I actually picked it up thinking it was a Michael Kors bag. To my surprise, it was not. It was actually like a different brand, but like looked very similar to Michael Kors. And I think the brand is called Thiana or something like that. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. But anyway, it was this really nice looking tote bag. I didn't know anything about the bag. I didn't even know if it was like a real leather bag or anything. but it sold for 30, which again was pretty good because it was a bag that I didn't really know anything about. I maybe thought I was going to sell it for more just because I thought it was a different brand, but hey, I mean, $30 is still pretty great for a bag that I didn't know anything of. Okay, the next item is a pair of American Eagle jeans. These are a size 10, like I said before. I swear by American Eagle. I don't think I have to harp on this one a lot, but basically American Eagle sells really well for me, and so yeah, I will always pick it up. It really always sells, and I don't know, I just continue to make a profit on American Eagle alone. Okay, the next brand was actually a relatively new brand to me that I've been picking up recently because I've been seeing that it sells pretty well. It's Cut From The Cloth. Now, I've heard good things about it, and I know people do purchase it. They are mostly denim, I think. I don't know if they have anything else, but I've only ever picked up the denim. And these pair I actually sold for 30, which was kind of surprising because I didn't know anything about selling them, but a lot of people say that they love selling Cut From The Cloth. So I don't know, I'm going to continue to pick it up because $30 profit is basically, you know, pretty great. And so I would continue to pick them up if I saw them going forward. But yeah, I mean, I had never heard of Cut From The Cloth. Let me know down below if you've sold Cut From The Cloth, or if, you know, you don't know anything about it, and maybe if you're gonna start picking it up, because it definitely sells pretty well and the jeans are really well made. Okay, the next item that I sold for a decent profit was the Celebrity Pink pants. These were actually a really cute pair of pants, and I kind of wanted them, but they just were not my size. And I really thought like they had like a nice embroidery detail on them. And again, they sold basically the same day I listed them, and they sold for 15 times the profit that I purchased them for. And Celebrity Pink is not like a decent brand or anything. It's kind of like a no-namer. But I was still able to sell them for 15, which is still pretty good. And so it really goes to show that sometimes picking up brands that you don't think are going to sell for anything, like people say they're not worth it, but like this is a good example of a brand that I probably would have skipped last year. But now that I didn't skip on it, it made me $15 in profit. Okay, the next pair of pants was actually the Old Navy denim pants. These were a size 8 petite, so I did have to discount them a little bit. Petite sizes are a lot harder to sell, and so I sold them for 15, which is still pretty good, but it's just I would have probably preferred to sell them higher just because they, you know, probably would have went higher if they were in a petite size. But hey, at the end of the day, it's still a good sale, and Old Navy is one of those brands that's not super expensive to begin with, so making 15 times the profit on Old Navy jeans is pretty good. Okay, this next bag was a Coach bag. It sold for $50. I've had this bag in my closet for probably 2 years now, and I purchased it at one of my first like ever Dollar Day events, and my god, I did not think it was going to take that long to sell, but hey, I'm really happy it sold, and I made a very large chunk of profit on it, so I'm not really disappointed. I'm just happy it's gone, and I'm happy it's at a new owner. Okay, this next piece is a Michael Kors bag that also sold for about $70. This was in very good condition, and it was one of those things where I kind of expected it to sell faster just because it was a leather bag and it was basically new, but it really just, there isn't a market for this kind of bag that much anymore, and so I had to discount it a lot. But again, it was one of those things where I was very happy to sell it because it was sitting for a very, very long time, and $70 is pretty great. Okay, that is actually all the items I'm going to talk about in this video that I was able to sell recently and make a good profit on. These are all items that I purchased, like I said, for $1, and I sold them for at least 10 or higher. In some cases, I sold them way higher. And so I hope this gives you some inspiration to maybe pick up those no-name brands, or maybe a piece didn't even have a brand, or maybe it's just a brand that you don't think is that popular. Somebody is going to want the piece, and if you can get it cheap enough, it's worth picking up. So I hope this gave you some inspiration, and if you want to see another video on tips that you can do to follow to make more sales, more consistent sales on Poshmark, you could click right here. And if you want to see another video on maybe reasons why your listings aren't selling and what you can do to fix that, you can click right here. But until next time, I will see you then.